I believe we can all agree that one of the greatest obstacles to meaningful development in Africa is ethnic conflict. Since Nigerian Fourth Republic's founding in 1999, farmer-header violence has killed thousands of people and displaced tens of thousands more. Today, my guest will give us an insight to better understand ethnic conflict. Hello and welcome to SMA Talks the Podcast. My name is Ayodiji Saraki. So my guest today is a man many refer to as a comrade. He speaks about, is it 3 or 2 Nigerian languages?
Yeah, 3 Nigerian
Three Nigerian languages, wow. And he's undeniable, he has this undeniable knack, to bring people together, and is none other than Sulaiman Akande, aka Comrade Sly. Welcome, Comrade Sly. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. And today's topic, we'll be discussing Nigerian ethnic clash. And I mean, it's worth discussing if you would agree with me, because over the years, like I said in the introduction, since our Fourth Republic, when we started our Fourth Republic in 1999, we have been having this farmer-header clash. And only recently, it was all over in the news when Sunday Igboho, gave an ultimatum to the Fulani headsmen in Oyo State, and that they should leave, the place because of the clash that is happening between the Yorubas and the Fulani. When you saw that news, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
First and foremost, ethnic clashes in this part of the world is as old as Nigeria itself. So we must establish 2 things here.
Yes.
First is the legality of such pronouncement by a private citizen. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is clear on that any Nigerians can live anywhere in Nigeria.
Sure.
They get that. So Sunday Igboho saying that it's not thing to say as a private citizen. We must get that right. Number 2 is that I and you is an open secret that the menace caused by herdsmen has been going on for a very long time.
True.
Attacking here, doing this, that, and the other time. But we must not use illegality to correct another illegality.
Yes.
So we must not take
But if you notice, after he said that, then most of the governors in the southwest and the monarchs, the obas and so on, so they had a meeting and to resolve the issue and how they can go about it. And that's a problem I have, most especially in Nigeria and many countries in Africa. Why is it that we allow situations to degrade, it degenerates so bad before we now address it? So if Sunday Igboho had not come out to give an ultimatum like that, are you telling me that the governors wouldn't have had an emergency meeting, or they wouldn't have been proactive on how to resolve it?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. You are very right. We have been passive in providing solutions to our problem. First and foremost, this does not start now.
Okay.
2 things have really this problem has been on for long, but 2 things has made it too glaring, and which has made it led to all these clashes here and there.
Yes.
Which is, we must understand that from time immemorial, elders have been moving from the north down to the south in search for grass for their cow and other things. So the issue of climate change,
okay, I like where you're
comes in.
So, like, you're looking, let's look at the causes, right?
Yeah, the causes.
Okay, so one major cause is climate change.
That is it. You get it. Climate change has made it where you find abundant grass, you don't find it again. Where you find abundant water, they are gone. Are you getting it? So this has led to competition for minimal resources that is available to other people.
Yes.
Number 2 is this development. At the rate we were developing, developing cities, developing towns, without capturing what do we get what to do with these clashes. These clashes have been there for long, but it has not really, the issue of climate change and development really bring it into the forefront of what we are looking at in the world over now. So that has really been the problem.
Yeah, I agree, but I'd like us to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So, still on the issue of what's happened in Oyo and what is also happening in Benue and many other parts of the country right now, you and I know that our president is a Fulani man, President Muhammadu Buhari. And recently, the president of African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, he said that the federalism we run in Nigeria, it's not federalism, it's fadarism. And that's funny, but I think what he's trying to say is that we look up to our leaders as fathers, But thinking from that angle, since we look up to our leaders as fathers, and President Muhammadu Buhari, at least, is old enough to be many of us our fathers. So, why can't, and the president is a Fulani man, why can't the president help resolve this issue properly? Why is it so difficult to resolve?
Thank you very much. You see, this issue is a kind of multifaceted issue, very complex. We must get something right. The issue of Fulani herdsmen, don't forget, we have a very porous border. So, ability to know who are really the people doing this attack, who are the bad guys among these people, has been a problem. And I think the president that was around 2017 or thereabout, when he came up with the issue of Ruga. Ruga is a Fulani word for settlement, whereby people meet, you can take care of your cow, it's more or less like a grazing reserve, whereby you don't have to move your cow down from north down to south, and that is hundreds of miles away. So the president, in its own wisdom then, says that let's start practicing Ruga. And I think some state governors also goes against it. So that is not to say the president has a lot to do. As the father of the nation, all bucks end on his table. So yes. I think it will go a long way if we can revisit all these things and at least make this issue of farmer elders clashes a thing that will nib in the bud.
Yes. So I'd like us to drop the Fulani headsmen for now. Let's talk about, because the issue we're discussing today, like the topic, Nigerian ethnic clash. So in 1967 to 1970, we had this Nigerian civil war, the whole issue of Biafra. And till now, we know that the issues that the Biafrans are clamoring for is still present with us today. A lot of people are still clamoring for an independent nation. For the southeastern people, the Biafrans, they want to have their own independence. They want to have their own country. And in Nigeria, whereby we have over 300 ethnicities, we have all sort of people that identify with various ethnicities, and we have over 300 of them, and there's so much competition, so much rivalry. I want to ask, what do you think, what do you have to say to the Biafrans? How do you feel? Do you take pity on them or what's your stand with the issue of Biafra?
Actually, the civil war of 1967 down to 1970 or late 69 is very, very unfortunate. It is a war that is needless. That is why after the end of the civil war, the then head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, said it is a no victor, no vanquish war of a thing. The Biafra agitator, to me, I felt a lot still need to be done. Let's go back. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria recognized self-determination. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
That is, a people says, oh, we don't want to belong here again. And the United Nations Charter, which Nigeria is a signatory to, also recognized that people have the right to self-determination. So Biafra as a whole, there has not been a kind of holistic approach that, okay, let's have this in one word. If you're talking of Biafra agitation, has always been a thing of IPOB, has
Yes.
been the main agitator of Biafra. Ezendigbo has not really said anything about it. The Southeast, the 5 Southeast states are senator in the National Assembly. They have member of the House of Rep. All they just need to do is lobby other member of NAS and at least let us call for constitutional conference or a national confab whereby we'll come and discuss the entity Nigeria. Does the people of South-East, they still want to remain part of Nigeria or they want to go their way? And I think most of these things are best settled on the table. When we talk, we'll have an air truth.
Absolutely. I think I agree. So I'm sure our listeners, I would like to make some things clear. So there's something we call communal conflict in Nigeria. And we have 2 types of it. We have the ethno-religious conflict, which primarily is about division amongst, people are divided based on the culture, ethnicity, religion, in communities. And an example is what we have in maybe Kaduna, for example. We have the Christian-Muslim rivalry, and we have the conflict that's happening in Kaduna, the northern Kaduna, southern Kaduna. We have killings there, etc. And we also have the heads and farmer conflict, which involves dispute over, land and cattle. That's the Fulani Hausa headers and, people that farm in the south down to southwestern part of Nigeria. So, also, what is happening in Kaduna, for example? Did you live in Kaduna at any point?
Yeah, I was born and brought up
exactly,
in Kaduna.
because I think you have a history with Kaduna. So as someone who lived in Kaduna, and I think you benefited, that's why you understand, Hausa, you understand Yoruba, you have lived with them, you have lived with so many different tribes in Nigeria, and that's why I wanted to bring you on the show, because I know that a lot of our listeners will have a lot to gain from, your experience and what you would have to say. So what do you think is the issue with what is happening with Christian and Muslims in Kaduna? The conflict happening there. How do you think it can? Because I'm sure there should be an underlying aspect of the ethnicity there too.
Yeah. The Kaduna crisis can be traced back to the Zango Kataf crisis in the early 90s. Then from Zango Kataf in the early 90s, then in the year 2000, we have another one that was when there is this Sharia law by Yerima Bakura of Zamfara State. Kaduna is a very volatile state. The reason is simple. Kaduna is the capital of the north. So it's a place whereby everybody meets, the Muslim, the Christians, people from the south, people from the north. So these have been forward for a very long time. And I think a lot has gone into the drain by people clash for a lot of reasons. There was a time people clash over a write-up by a newspaper. People clash over land. If you go to the southern Kaduna now, what has been is that they are clashing over land, whereby people will say, okay, this land belongs to us. You have some Fulani people or the Hausa people that their forefathers have stayed on this land for about 200 years.
Yeah.
Then you have the local, the indigenous people of that land saying that this land belongs to us. So all this claim has led to a lot of clashes here and there between the locals and the settlers.
Yeah.
So, and personally, if you just ask me, we have a kind of, we must find a common ground as a people on how to tolerate ourselves and let government come into play in solving all these problems. Just as you said earlier, we allow this thing to fester for long before government come into the whole thing and said, oh, this is this belongs to this, and this belongs to that.
Yeah. So I would like to discuss some of the stereotypes, associated with ethnicity in Nigeria and tribes, ethnics and tribes. Because, so for example, I remember after the Civil War, and even till now, a lot of people have this perception. They see Yoruba people as people who sit on the fence. You know, they are neither saying no or yes, they're just on the fence. That's why that's a lot of people's perception, you know, towards Yoruba people. People see the Igbos as, you know, they are very strong-willed. They like money. They are so money-oriented, you know, people, and they like to outsmart other people. You know, that's the stereotype. Again, people see with the Igbos. And people see the Hausa man as someone who is arrogant or ignorant and is power drunk. You know, so these are just stereotypes. The major tribes, for example, we have with Nigeria. And now the Fulani, people have associated killings with the Fulani also being ignorant, harmful, dangerous people, and all of that. And it saddens me to see that we are putting different tribes, caging them in ignorance and in a box, whereby we're giving them negative stereotypes. So a layman comes from another country and definitely, without you telling him anything, he just sees, you know, he just watch from a distance and he can see the different bias you all are using to relate to one another because of the inherent bias. And we train our children with this bias, which scares me more because sometimes I have this, permit me to say, wishful thinking that, oh, Nigeria we might stop this bias. And when you think of it, and when reality dawns on you and you see the way people are training their kids, you know, telling their kids in the house that, oh, that your neighbor, he's Fulani, don't go near him because they're dangerous, they kill people. Or that Igbo person, don't go there, they use you to do money ritual, they like money too much, you know, and all of that. So what do you have to say about these negative stereotypes we have lived with over the years and it's still potent with us?
You see, stereotype is something, if we continue doing this, no one benefits from the stereotype. And I think one of the problems we have been having is ethnic profiling of a crime.
Yeah.
Criminal is a criminal, nothing more, nothing less.
Exactly. We shouldn't profile.
We shouldn't profile. Ethnic profiling will not help any of us. You understand?
No, so I would like us to really analyze that. I mean, profiling is important, but we shouldn't profile.
Ethnically,
we should profile for documentation, but we shouldn't profile for
stereotype
to stereotype people.
Yeah.
You know, because just like having database, I would say that a black man did this, or a Yoruba man in the West did this. But we shouldn't bring that to the news and now profile and say, oh, it's Yoruba people, or that one person now generalizes. You generalize the whole of the Yoruba race just because of one man's action. So continue.
So the issue of ethnic profiling, you understand, has really gone a long way in kind of breaking a lot of things that join us together as a people and as a nation. You see, I've heard people saying Fulani herdsmen have done this. Even there are some crimes that are not committed by them. But you don't just even need to hear anything. Oh, this is done. They say these people have done this. Each tribe in this country is known for a particular crime. Maybe it's because that crime is dominant in that area. But in the business of nation building, we must come together as a people and as a nation and look at that lot of things that join us together rather than the little things that divide us. So issue of profiling or stereotype should really be done by us. A criminal is a criminal, nothing more.
I like to take it up from there. Still on criminality. So we have instances where a lot of the kidnappings and banditry happening in our society now. I mean, just recently, today, this morning, we saw in the news that over 200 students, female students, were kidnapped in Zamfara. Zamfara is in the north of Nigeria. And these are young girls. And a lot of people associate this kidnapping and banditry to the Fulani tribe. So what do you think about that?
It's quite unfortunate. The problem is, you see, people have been discussing a lot of things, this thing a lot of time. But the problem we're having is that we are not really looking at the root cause of all these things. Are you aware that there are some states and some local governments in Nigeria that are even ungoverned? Ungoverned in the sense that you won't see the presence of security, no presence of basic amenity, no presence of good and motorable road. So all these things have gone on for long.
Yeah.
So, and you see, there is one particular thing. I told someone that one of the things that fuel banditry and terrorism is poverty. So the issue of poverty needs to be taken care of. Illiteracy is another thing that fuels this terrorism.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? The aim of these terrorists, of these bandits, is to stop these young girls from going to school. I don't know why you will go to a school and kidnap girls.
And I think they're succeeding. If you look at it from, I think they're succeeding, because if I were to be a parent now, I would be scared for my children to be in school, especially boarding house, because I might be scared that one bunch of bandits might go into the school and go and kidnap innocent children. I know children are very vulnerable. They are. It's something that anyone who is a parent would not want anything to harm his kids or her kids. So they just play on the weak points of parents, which is their kids. And definitely they're going to demand ransom.
Yeah, they are. But I'm telling you, if we can come together as a people and as a nation, they won't win this war. You know why?
How do we come together when we are so divided by ethnicity, tribalism, religious bias, all sorts of divisions? I mean, I remember when Black Lives Matter was happening in the United States, and I was having this conversation with some of my friends, and we're like, oh, black versus white is happening in the United States. I know people were so agitated, and we're condemning what is happening in the United States and all of that. And I told them, have you guys forgotten that ours might not be black versus white? Because, in Nigeria, we don't have that race. We are more of a black nation. But we have a lot that's present with us, and they're just as bad, which gave birth to NSAS protest. What our security officials were doing, we felt very unsafe, with our the special anti-robbery squad unit under the Nigerian police force. We're so scared because I've been a victim before. I've been harassed on 4 different occasions in Lagos. So it is with us. We are all blacks or Africans, permit me. I don't like using the word blacks. We're all Africans here in Nigeria, majority of us. But we still have issues amongst ourselves because we have religion present with us. We have ethno-religious conflict. We have tribal conflict. We have ethnicity. We have class of oppression, the rich versus the poor, and all of that. So you are telling me if we can just come together as a nation, how do we find out way? How do we come together?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You see, it's about going back to the basis. We have a lot of things that unite us than the little things that divide us.
Such as?
Thank you very much. Such as, number one, being a Nigerian. Yeah. That itself should be a unifying factors that bind us together. You know one funny thing? Yeah. I've seen Nigerian goes abroad, and when you see them abroad, they come together for a common cause without asking you, where are you from? Are you from so state? Yeah. Are you this? Are you that? I could remember there is one of these adventure we had of recent, and we came together as a Nigerian, not as a Yoruba guy, not as Hausa guy, not as Igbo guy, until we're able to do that. And let's get this thing right. The issue of ethno-religion crisis here and there, do you notice that it's more prevalent among the poor than the rich? Have you ever gone to the National Assembly or wherever in this country, whenever they want to perfect their ways of making their money, they will not even think of, I don't want to do this with a Yoruba guy. I don't want to do this with a Hausa guy. So until we come together as a people, as a nation, it is very important that we must also establish that the government has a lot to do.
Yeah.
Let crime be punished on time. When you allow crime to go unpunished, people see it as normal. People see it as a way of life. And those that are victims of crime, when you don't punish their perpetrators, they lose trust in the government.
Exactly. Someone put it well. One person said, if you have more of what you praise. So if we go around praising corrupt politicians, because in Nigeria, to be honest, I know that we'll hear one or two cases in the media that they're trying to prosecute one rich politician that stole public funds and all of that. But we never see them actually punish the politician. Nobody actually goes to jail. I mean, you can tell me if I don't, because maybe I don't know. You should correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I've not seen any politician that we have had media trial about, in recent years, or even since I was, not since I was born, but in recent years, goes to jail. You just hear it on the news that, this person is having a case with EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes, and nobody actually goes to jail. That's one. Then two, I think you hit on something when you said we have to be one Nigeria. We have to behave as Nigerians. And that made me want to ask you this. What does it mean to be a Nigerian? Because I'm a Nigerian, but I'll tell you that I know what it means to be a citizen of the United States is to respect and defend the Constitution of the United States. But what does it really mean to be a Nigerian? When someone says, I am a Nigerian, what does that mean? What's he trying to say that? What is that person saying that I am a Nigerian? What does that mean?
Being a Nigerian, it takes a lot.
Okay.
Most importantly, we must remember one thing. The late Professor Dora Akunyili was able to coin a particular word. She said, we're good people of a great nation.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
good people
of a great nation. So if you look at the abundance of, when I talk of Nigerian, I don't even look at the oil. I don't look at the abundant natural resources. Yeah. But when you look at the abundant human resources that is abound in every corner of Nigeria, you will know we have a lot to celebrate as a nation. Number two, how do we do that? Just look at our national pledge or national anthem. Yes. Do you know that we have one of the best national pledge in the world? At least the little times I've spent, I have reviewed close to 10 to 15 pledges and national anthem of countries. And
well, I like our national pledge so much, and I'd like us to recite it. Okay, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God.
Wow.
Yes.
So if
that's
you see
a great national
So if you look
pledge.
at the national pledge,
yes,
to be faithful, loyal and honest. These three things should define
to serve Nigeria with all my strength.
So using that strength to serve Nigeria, that is the gate man should serve Nigeria with all his strength. The messenger.
Then I think this falls into the job of the Federal Orientation
National Orientation Agency.
National Orientation Agency. I don't think they're doing their jobs right.
They'll not be doing enough.
Because
you understand?
A lot of people don't know. I told you earlier. I mean, I know what it is to be a Nigerian, but I can tell you a lot of Nigerians don't really know what it means to be a Nigerian. Nigerians will tell you things about every other country around the world, but they don't know things about their own country.
Let me tell you one funny thing. You see, the problem is that this federalism, that what we've been running.
I couldn't even say we practice fadarism.
Fadarism. Wow.
So,
you would have said it.
So this
federalism we've been running is like we're taking government away from the people. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
You see, the local government system, what we run these days, there are people that don't even know their local government chairman.
Exactly.
Aside from their state chairman.
It's disturbing.
And did you even know one funny thing? The way this country is structured, are you aware that primary education, primary health care is a statutory function of local government and state government? How far have they fared in that? Are you getting that? Yeah. So until we know who should we hold responsible for a failure or a success in a country. And again, we were talking about the kind of our justice system the other time. Yeah. If you look at our criminal justice system, it takes time to dispense justice. And you remember the normal words they use in legal parlance. Yeah. Justice delay is justice denied. So all these things, we need to work on it. We need a kind of review. We should have special courts that will try criminal cases, a special court that will try corruption cases, a special court that will try electoral offenses cases. So all these, if you have quick dispensation of justice, this thing will not stay for long. Because what we're doing now is that we should understand that the children are looking. When you look at TV, when you do this, when you do that, they will just think this is normal. Whereas we are not that, because we are a good people of a great nation.
I like when you say that. So I would like to ask, do you see a future for Nigerian ethnic groups living in true harmony, like a true harmony? Do you see a future?
Serious. I am very, very optimistic, and I believe in Project Nigeria. We can make it happen. How do we do that?
Okay.
Is giving to A what is due to A. Giving to B what is due to B. Why most of people lost interest and they became very, very, very relaxed about the Project Nigeria is they feel cheated. Is it in school? Is it in workplace? Is it this? So if we can change that fundamental thing that is wrong, let us do things as at when due. And I'm telling you, and it has a lot. As a citizen, we have a role. The leaders have a role. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So when I've been telling people, it's not about the society. The society is on its own. But right from our home, we are running a government right from our home. Let's start preaching that value that, oh, this is what we stand for. This is what we do. This is...
Because at the end of the day, what a lot of Nigerians don't understand is, or what a lot of people don't understand is the family is the smallest unit of any society.
Yeah.
Charity begins at home.
Yeah.
Is what you train your children. Like I said earlier, we have situations whereby people tell their children. I mean, I used to have great optimism, for this ethnic conflict and clash that maybe it will resolve in a few years, only for me to discover that what parenting feels in the minds of their children, what they tell them that, oh, don't mingle with this person in your school. What's your best friend's name? Maybe, for example, the child she's Igbo, for example. Maybe her name is Amarachi. And Amarachi's mom asked Amarachi in the house, what's your best friend's name? I said her best friend's name is Aisha. I'm like, you're following Hausa girl in school? Mm-hmm. No, don't work with her. Don't you know that Hausa people are this? Don't you know that Yoruba people are this? Don't you know that Gala people are this? And all sorts of things. So we have to train our children differently. We have to raise our boys differently, our girls differently. We have to teach them how to love. Because if we can teach hate, then we must learn to teach love.
Wow, I love that.
Because, it's not my words. It's Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela said, that love can be taught. That because for hate to be taught, then love can be taught. Because if you can teach hatred, then you can definitely teach love. Because nobody was born to hate naturally.
Yeah,
hate must have been learned. And so for you to learn to hate, then you can learn to love. So I just wish, hope, and pray that we can actually live, in true harmony in this country. And I would also like you to tell us like the baby steps we can be taking as a person, because we can't always sit here and blame the federal government, state government, forgetting that you and I make up the society. It's what you do within the society, what I do within society that makes up the society as a whole. So Sulaiman, tell us, what are the baby steps individuals can take, within their capacity to have better relationship among ethnicities?
Thank you very much. One of the first step is, as a people and as a nation, we must first treat every Nigerian as human first, before you now separate them into classes. I remember someone says that there are only two classes of people in the world, the good and bad people. Every other thing is secondary.
My brother would agree with you.
So we must first look at people that, I'm not, Deji. Deji, like Deji sounds like a Yoruba name. Deji must be this. So I must not look at you from that prison. It is very, very, very narrow. Yeah. And one thing you should notice is that I laugh sometimes when we come back to this country to fight ourselves. Nigeria will go abroad and shout of racism. If we go to South Africa and start to shout of a xenophobic attack, whereby his fellow Nigeria here, down here, you cannot relate with him. So until we start preaching this value, right from the family settings, our religious places,
Yes.
and in the other social media and everywhere. So whatever we want to say, we should make sure that we reflect Nigeria, one Nigeria, because I have always said, we have a lot that unite us than what divides us.
It's like you just gave me so much optimism into this communal conflict. I mean, both the ethno-religious conflict and the farmer-herder conflict. But finally, I would like you to tell us that do you think Nigeria or Africa at large will gain if we go back to this tribal leadership or regional leadership? Do you think if peradventure, I mean, I've shared in your optimism that Nigeria will become a better place in terms of the clash we have within the ethnicity, tribalism, etc. But peradventure, God forbid, if it doesn't move forward and we get to the brinks of it where Biafra says, oh, we're going on our own, and maybe the Fulani says, oh, we're going on our own, and the Yorubas and the Tiv and the Efik and all sorts of tribes go on their own. Do you think the country, Nigeria, will gain or Africa will gain if we go back to this tribal and leadership that we used to do before we became a democracy that we are today and we became a federation? Do you think we'll gain from it, or do you think it would be a bloody mistake?
Actually, personally, I believe all of us need one of us.
Yes.
You understand? One thing we should understand is that as a nation, the proponent, the founding fathers of this nation,
yes,
they have a very lofty dream for this country. So should we go back to the regional settings that, these people go their way? We'll still miss ourselves, because you see, as a nation,
yes,
we are not giant of Africa for nothing. You remember how big we are in the West African region, in the African region. So the beauty of Nigeria, have you seen our national team? Very nice. Yoruba, Hausa, they are this and that. So we are better off to remain as a one big nation. So I will always implore our leaders and the followers that this marriage will produce a very good fruit if we come together. Thank you very much.
On that note, I say thank you so much, Comrade Sly. I mean, it's indeed a pleasure to discuss with you. You were the perfect person that came to mind, because I know that, you have related with so much people from various tribes. I know you lived in Mina at some point. You lived in Abuja, lived in Kaduna. You speak multiple languages, and you know better, on this topic. And that's why I really honestly share in the optimism that Nigeria, and not just Nigeria, we have other African countries too that are facing this ethno-religious conflict, such as it's happening in Somalia, it's happening in Sudan, it's happening in Rwanda. Africa, basically, these issues are happening, and this is limiting our meaningful development. This limiting our progress, and we all have to act now. As they always say about climate change, that we don't have time anymore and we quickly have to act now. That is the same way we have to act now. We have to be better persons. We have to be better neighbors. We have to be better friends. We have to be better colleagues. We have to be better staff. We have to treat people equally and justly. On that note, I say thank you very much for always listening to SMA Talks, the podcast. Please do look out for more updates from SMA Talks on Instagram at the SMA Talks, and on Twitter at Saraki_Deji. On that note, I say bye for now.